Good morning. Welcome to a little channel I like to call the Red, White, and Blue. Now, this is an open channel, and feel free to comment. I don't care what you comment. You can call me an asshole. You can call me a racist. You can call me whatever you want. I don't really give a flying fig leaf. Because here's the thing. Little background. I was born in the 70s, raised in the 80s. I come from a military family, and we're blue collar. We have a few white collar in our family, but for the most part, we're blue collar. So, my family, like millions of other families across this country, built this shit. Okay? Facts. Those are what that is. The facts. The middle class built this shit. Still is building it. We're just, middle class is just getting screwed over. So, little thing I want to address is Americans. We have an inherent problem that we have created. And unfortunately, Gen Xers, you got to take some of the responsibility for this shit, because a lot of you seen it coming, did nothing. Why? Because you didn't want to hear the fucking liberal tears. You didn't want to hear the bullshit. You didn't want to be called this or called that. Well, look at your children. Think of what the fuck you're leaving them. Okay? Do you want them to have some Habibi or some jihadist that's fucking 60 years old and they're fucking 5 years old? You want someone that fucking old pumping on your small child? Because guess what? These fucking terrorists don't care if they're boys or girls. They fuck them all. Do a little digging into it. They have this, can't think of what the hell the dance is called, but it's a bunch of little fucking boys because the girls are gone somewhere else. And guess how it ends? Just like all fucking pedophiles, it ends with a small child's asshole hurting and their fucking brain fucked, because that's not supposed to happen to a child. Where in the fuck did our children become for sale? Can you tell me that? When the fuck did our children become a political fucking talking point? All of you, every fucking one of us, should be ashamed of how we have been treating our children. That's right, I said it. All of us. Every damn one of us. If you take a breath in the United States of America, you share a responsibility in the trafficking or the abuse of fucking children. Children look up to us for guidance and protection because they don't know any better. They think everything is great. They think everything is rainbow and sunshines. And you know what? For them, until they hit 10, 12 years old, it should be all rainbows and sunshine. That's where we're fucking up. We have gotten so goddamn arrogant that we think that the American can change the whole fucking world. Like with this dumbass emission shit and this diesel exhaust fluid bullshit. Let me summarize this up for you. Do you realize that the government spent hundreds of billions of dollars, maybe even fucking trillions, with this DEF shit? And guess what it does? Guess what it does? Because anybody with half a fucking brain can understand this. Everybody was worried about the air pollution. Okay, if you don't know what a diesel exhaust fluid is, the hint is in the name. Diesel exhaust fluid. Okay. So now all of these emissions that these idiots are putting on, like new scum and crime family bygone, and all these other fucking morons like Obama, you didn't fix the fucking problem. Just like everything else in fucking government, you delayed it. You spent an ass ton of money and you changed it from an air pollutant to a ground pollutant. Because in the grand scheme of things, people, and I'm dumbing this way down, okay? It's a little more technical than this, but essentially, what DEF does is it takes the exhaust gases from a diesel engine that usually go up in the air. They cool it and make it heavier than air. So it does what? It drops to the ground. Well, what happens? The ground absorbs it. So now, this is what they've done with all of their studies. They have changed it from an air pollutant to, in 5-10 years, however many years it takes, to a ground pollutant. So what did they do? Not a damn thing. Just like the normal government. It was a great way to launder money. Because here's the thing about the goofball politicians that we got in this country. They are absolutely phenomenal money launderers. Probably some of the best. And that's probably why the cartels and all of them want to talk with these idiots, because they want to learn how to launder money this well. You know, the idea of this country is so pure and so beautiful. It truly is. Think about it and break it down to the basic points of it, which is citizens governing themselves. Okay? Now, sit back and look at some of these people that are at these bullshit No Kings rallies. Are they airing both sides? Or are they just spitting out something that someone told them? Look at some of the interviews. These people think that their way of thinking is the only way. There's no room for debate. There's no room for intelligent conversation because they think they have it all figured out. This country used to be a wonderful melting pot of ideas, as I like to think of it. And there was a debate. Somebody brought up an idea. This person said, well, it may not work that way. How about if we do this, this, and this? And then somebody else would say, well, one of those will work, but the other two won't. How about we try this? It's called a think tank, people. Corporate America uses it daily to gain new ideas. That's how ideas are molded and shaped into brilliant products or brilliant policies. And we don't have any of that no more. You know, I really believe that, Hakeem Jeffries and Schumer, these fucking idiots are so out of touch with reality that they really believe the bullshit that someone is telling them. Someone's telling them that they're intelligent and they're doing the right thing. And we need to find who's telling them that and remove them. Look, not one person has the idea for everything, you know? And I like to use this as a very good example because everybody forgets about this. And most Gen Xers will remember this when I bring it up. This asshole, Bill Gates, that is trying to push this fake food and all this garbage, okay, is a thief. That's what the fuck he is. He's a thief. He's not this brilliant genius that came up with this awesome Windows operating system. Do your due diligence. Dig it up. A little company in Arizona called Sun Systems Inc. created what is now Windows. Bill Gates stole it from him for like, I think the dollar amount was like 50,000. I may be wrong on that, so someone look that up, post it in the comments. But it was somewhere around that dollar amount. And then his piece of shit ass couldn't even, he had $1 million idea for 50 grand or somewhere in that ballpark, and he couldn't even do the honorable thing and fucking pay that. Sun Systems had to sue his ass to get their damn money. That is Bill Gates, a thief disguised as an innovator. And then I'll give him credit. This is the only credit he deserves. He's got a great bullshit game, and he's good at putting the right people in the right room. You look at Woz and all of those others that were involved in Microsoft. Very talented people. Very talented people. But look at what they did. The minute they could, they got the fuck away from Gates. That should tell you something. It should tell you something. Look at his wife of how many years? The minute it looked like she was going to have egg on her face and it was going to come out, the old fucking Billy Gates is a faggot and likes pedophilia, supports pedophilia. What'd she do? Dumped his ass. Got gone quickly. Okay? All the information is there. You've just got to look for it. You've got to look beyond yourself and keep digging. That's the wonderful thing about the truth, is the truth can never be buried. It always pops up somewhere. It just always does, because that's what the truth does. The truth is the shining light that keeps unearthing itself to you. You just got to be aware to see it. A lot of us forget. And we've been trained and somewhat brainwashed by individuals. You know, it's starting to come out that the school system was nothing but a glorified Russian freaking horrible experiment. I know some of you don't know what that means, but my Gen Xers will appreciate that. It's quite the novelty that the Cold War is getting brought up now. I'm seeing it more and more in people's reels and other stuff. Here's why the Cold War is getting brought up. We were told that the Cold War was about missiles in Cuba and the Russians wanting to invade us and yada, yada, yada. And maybe a small part of that was true. But in the things that I have seen and the little documentaries and little research and that I've done, this is what I believe the Cold War was about. It was about the USSR's KGB unit, which is the United States version of the CIA, or is the Russian version of the CIA. You had the United States CIA, and then you had the USSR's KGB unit. They were playing games. US had people in Russia, all over Russia, as sleepers. I think the last numbers I seen out of the CIA was there was like 10,000 different sleepers in Russia that were United States CIA agents. And Russia had, I'm sure, that many, maybe even more. And it brought the world into a bunch of question everything, believe nothing type attitude. That's a good reason why some of us Gen Xers are the way that we are. because we grew up with this looming threat that the Russians were going to launch missiles from Cuba and kill us all. So not true. Gorbachev they were positioning, it was, everybody seems to forget about this little green-eyed monster called money. People don't believe how fast that is the way to the evilness. Money can consume you so quickly because it can buy you so many things, and it can provide you with so many different experiences. It gets intoxicating. But that's what it's supposed to do. The devil always changes its form to reel you in. That's where your moral compass is supposed to take over and not let you hit those lows. At some point in time, your upbringing should come to you and like a huge neon sign and be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. We're not supposed to be doing this. And that's just not happening. Why? Because we took God and country out of school. I grew up pledging allegiance to the flag in the United States of America every morning. And there was nothing wrong with that. There wasn't. Not a damn thing wrong with that. I believe in this country. I would defend this country. This country has been very good to me, but it's also been very bad to me. But at the end of the day, when the country or state is bad to you, it is still your responsibility because it's decisions that you have made that has caused your country or your state to be bad to you. Decisions you made. You made. You know what's changed in this country? Accountability. Nobody wants to be accountable for bad shit no more. We know we live in a legal system that there's no accidents anymore. There's no car accidents anymore. They always got to find someone at fault, and then criminal charges start coming for a fucking accident. That's where we've gone. It's a monetary society, is what it is. Everything revolves around money. And it didn't used to be that way. Don't get me wrong, money's always been important in society. But it was used more as a tool, not as an evaluation. Now people think, oh, that person's poor, they're not of value. Some of the highest value people I've ever met in my life are some of the poorest people I've ever met in my life. Some of the morally broken people that I've met have some of the biggest checkbooks I've ever seen. And when I mean morally broken, I mean morally broken. They have no morals. Their moral is that dollar bill. And as long as they're obtaining that dollar bill, they think they have the moral high ground. No, you do not. You do not. That money gives you false security. Just like a door lock on your home gives you false security. Do you truly think someone can't kick it in or pick it? It's a false security. You hit that lock and you think you're safe. And there's millions of people out there that understand what I'm saying right now. You are not safe. That little lock cannot keep you safe. And for those people that have experienced that, I'm sorry for that. But what you experienced was real life at its core. Unfortunately, you had to bear witness to it. The world is never going to be perfect. Humans are never going to be perfect. So I don't understand what all the hoopla is about. So, in closing, I want everybody to have a great day.